Look! The stinging nettle! Yay! Stinging nettle is here! We're gonna harvest it and eat it. It's the best.
Thought that might be a big root bundle.
Yeah,
That's big.
that's what she said. I guess you probably could have anchored a gate to that pretty securely. Go stand next to it. Give it scale. Whoa. There it is.
Good morning. It's a bit breezy today. Had some fun the last couple days. Just playing around with this guy. But today I should make some real progress. So I finally took some time this morning to kind of walk around and look at things and think about things regarding this road and the gate, and just kind of looking at the parts I have and what I would need to get everything in and how it's all going to work. And like, we want some lighting down here too, and eventually the sawmill is going to be right here. Like real soon I'm going to start clearing these trees, and so the power for this gate could easily come, you know, I need to run power to the pole barns. I don't really want to run power to the house right now if I'm just going to build the mill in a month. So I can get a battery for it just so it operates now, but I'm going to get everything set up and probably the lights set up, and I think I might set up or put in a light pole or just really a tree. But first, the road is not exactly how I want it yet. So, you know, I've tried to scrape as much of this down as I can, pull it back to kind of build up that low spot, but it's just not enough. So I went down and looked at my pile of 3.5 inch gravel, and I think I can scrape up enough to make it worth it. And I'll bring it from down there and dump it up here. And once I got about 8 inches kind of in the middle and spread out as best I can, then I'll come back and I'm going to scrape off a little bit more of this gravel, and then I'll drag that over the top. And then that'll be good enough, and I'll try to compact that all and make it all nice. And I'll also dig out these sides, finish cleaning out this road here, and clean this out here too. And then I might just wait to order gravel until I get this driveway in, and then I'll just do everything at once. So that's the plan for today. Oh, and I need to go get more diesel since I'm almost empty. And yeah. And then as far as the gate goes, I think, I don't know, I keep going back and forth between, go away fly. I keep going back and forth between using concrete or just burying. I got a ton of logs. I could just bury a couple of logs and tie them together and make a real strong post. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll play with the tractor first and think about it while I'm working. I'm going to switch buckets to the 12-inch digging bucket here. I got pretty good at switching these buckets out, but it's been a while, and it took a while to get pretty good at it, so we'll see how this goes. There's a way to do it that's makes it much easier. I think I take out this one first, but I gotta drop it down a little bit so this is hanging straight down. And then I lower it down and pull this pin out, I think. Now let me get this up the hill first, take it off up there. I'm just gonna pull this one out and see what happens. Need to grab the grease too. That's dry. Yow! It's gonna need a little encouragement here too, maybe. There we go. Let's see if this little pipe can handle it. Go. Let me just grab the grease and I'll start it up and I'll move it over here. I think I put it in the second hole. I can't remember what gives you more reach or not. I guess this one would pull it up further and this one would let it curl more. But I think I want it to pull up further so I can dig holes if I'm going to do that. I don't know. I'll put it in the second one, see what happens. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. That is ridiculously low. What are they doing? Anyways, I don't want to get started and then run out of gas or have to stop just because I'm out of gas. So run to the store, get some gas, come back, fill it up, and start working. Okay, I'm here and I just thought, why not push this tree over now? It's just old dead tree right here next to the road. It's an old cedar, you can see it's rotten. But I just kind of ran into it with the backhoe and it's solid and it's wet. So it might be pretty strong. I might not want to go over, or it might tear out a huge chunk of road here. But if I push on it and it doesn't want to move much, then I'll just give up. And it's kind of leaning, it's leaning across the road just a little bit. So I'm kind of pushing it away from the way it's leaning. But I got plenty of space to drop it in there. It should just slide through between those trees. I've pushed over a lot of trees with this thing. We'll see how this goes. That was a pretty big stump. That would have taken a really long time to dig out if I wasn't able to push it over. I don't know if you can tell, that's about 3 foot deep of a hole, and the stump's a little bit taller than me. Normally I'd drive around and pick it up here and pick it up and drop it, but this thing is way too big. So I'm gonna get the chainsaw out and I'll buck up this log, but first I'll take the backhoe and I'll dig, kind of free up a lot of this dirt, let it fall down in the hole, and then once I have it chopped up, I can probably just push the stump down there, and then I'll come around and get it from the other side once I'm clearing that land over there. Just add it to the big pile of stumps. I don't see how hard that was to push over. I don't think it would have fallen over anytime soon. And the wood still might be good enough to mill, so hopefully I can get some, because that's a pretty big cedar. And it seemed pretty solid still when I was pushing it. These roots, I mean, it must not have been dead for too long. I mean, at least 5 years since I've been here. But let me scrape some of this dirt out of this stump, and then I'll break out the chainsaw. Whatever I cut last time dulled the crap out of that. I guess before I buck up this log, it was like struggling to cut through these little branches. And I could see it's terrible. Let me go see if I can find a file real quick. It's gotten cold. So I got a bunch more down here. Like another 8 inches or so of gravel I was able to find here and there. So the low spot isn't so much of a low spot anymore. I was just gonna, got my hand rake and shovel. I'm just gonna go ahead and like just polish this up, smooth it out a little bit with the hand rake. And while I'm at it, I'll kind of, still pretty flat, but I'll just kind of hit all the little, push and pull the stuff right where I need it. And you can see across the road, I kind of enhanced that ditch. And same over there, the water was running across the road. And I don't actually have to do much to this road. This summer, or pretty much every year, there's someone who has, or the people who live on this street have a contract and they pay someone to come out and regrade it. So it's just something real quick. And I was going to take my rake and just kind of smooth out my little hills real quick. And then here, I just dug this down just a hair more, just to make sure this water flows down this way. You can actually see this is just native ground right here. So most of this, there's only like a couple inches of gravel on top of this is the native hardpan. It's what everyone thinks is clay, but it's not actually clay. It's just silty loam that's been compacted by glaciers. So it's actually really good base. It's just super compacted gravel and silt and sand, basically. It's the next best thing to rock. Anyways, when I do get gravel, make sure I'll cover this up because it can get a little slick when it's wet. When it's really wet. But anyways, oh, that looks so much better than what it was. It's actually got a road where there's a crown now. There used to be a pothole like somewhere in this general area. Maybe it was here. I don't know. Anyways, enough yakking. I'm gonna get warm by raking. Well, didn't expect to spend 3 days on this, but I can finally be proud of that road. And now when I dump gravel on it, I won't feel like I wasted my gravel. So the last thing I want to do is now that I got the digging bucket on here, I'm going to come and just dig this out a little bit more, at least down there, and I'm going to stop when I have a big enough pile of dirt here, and then I'll scoop up that dirt and I'll throw it in the hole. Then I just gotta get the chainsaw, chop up this junk, and then I'm gonna I'll dig a hole right here and try to get the post in, basically right there. And I'll just cut a couple of posts from the log pile, and I'll stick them in, and then wherever that is, straight over here, I'll dig basically a trench, and I'll stick 2 in. I'll probably throw concrete around that post there, but these 2, we'll see. I might throw a little concrete around the bottom. But yeah, so then these 2, then I'll link the 2 with either like an axe or 3 parallel sets of boards or something like that, where they're just bolted into the logs. But first I just got to measure the gate and see how much room I need to leave between them. And then once I get those set, then I can start messing with the gate. And I think what I'm going to do for now is just go get a battery and run the gate off the battery for now. And then I'm going to build the wood kiln and the sawmill, and then I'll run power. Oh, here comes Artemis. Hey, buddy. Then I'll run power to the mill, and then once it's from the mill, then I'll run it to the gate permanently, and that's when I'll probably do the light pole, because I've spent enough time as it is here. But I may use one of these trees. I'll probably stick a light pole right down there, because the keypad is going to be right about there too as well. Yeah, this is where I want to just dig it out a little bit more, because it's not, it'd be nice to have a little bit of a gutter here. And there's just this kind of ledge here. You know, the more I dig, the more dirt it turns into quick. So I'll just start here and I'll kind of pull it this way. Then I'll be able to come back and scoop it up and go dump it over there. I'll try to keep it to a minimum. I'll just try to take it like another foot and a half of this out. Because I know it's harder than a rock. It's all just solid boulders and gravel. Hey you, what do you think? It's changed a little bit, huh? Yeah, it's not going to be muddy anymore, and it's not going to have potholes. Yeah. We're going to lay some gravel over this. Yeah, it's going to look nice, Artemis. This dried out pretty quick. Like yesterday it was super mushy. Now you can just about stand on it. This is pretty compacted. Backhoe does a pretty good job. But of course everybody driving on it this summer, by come winter it's going to be hard as a rock. I don't know how good of a job I did with the before pictures, but it looks way better to me, at least. God, it used to be just like this little narrow 2-track, bumpy road. I used to, pull up this hill, and then it's always, Avery calls it the bumpy spot, and it would just be, go through all these puddles here. And I'd be like, why do we even have the backhoe if I'm not going to fix our freaking road? So I fixed the road. Oh, that looks nice. That looks like a real road now. It was like level to the hill and then up. And I was able to drag it all down. It's probably built up at least a foot or more in the middle there. And I didn't even buy any gravel. That's pretty cool. And I didn't have very much over in the other spot. I only was able to get like 3 small loader bucket fulls. Yeah, well, this is great. It's actually got a proper crown to it now. And it's got an actual ditch for the water to flow in. Boy, if I ever have to add a culvert there, that ground is like a rock. Oh, I would just put in a small culvert. I would just put in a really small culvert, I guess. Oh, what do you think? Yeah. He's got to inspect it. He loves it when I do tractor work. There's something about the dirt that just cats seem to love. Especially loose dirt. Sweet. Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to do is I brought the pole saw down. So I got a bunch of branches over there to trim up. And trim up a few through here. They're just the real low ones. And I didn't get to this other than just one pass with the front loader. But I want to scoop that out just a little bit more. But right now, before it gets too dark, my mother and father-in-law's friends are leaving. And they're going to be driving their RV through here, and I don't want them falling in this hole. Do a little bit of digging over there, and just enough to get a scoop or 2 or 3 in here, and then I'll come in and kind of pull in the sides and get it pretty close. But as far as I'm concerned, today's done, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I may work on the atrium doors tomorrow. I don't know, or I may continue this because why not? I don't know. Anyways, to be continued.